Jared, we're back on Hump
We're back.
Day. Can you believe that?
I know.
How fast a week goes by, my friend, when you're
Having
handicapping every day.
and make money.
Are you ready for some nighttime racing today?
Yeah, this ought to be fun. And I can play the track tonight. I'm excited.
Oh, you got off tonight, huh?
What? No, I'm not off tonight, but I have access to the Evangeline, so we'll be playing today.
Beautiful. Yeah, I know. Yesterday you had mentioned that may not be the case, so I'm going to absolutely play it tonight too because I have some. I don't know. Going through this card, what were your thoughts? I felt like there was not one standout to me.
Well, we got the inside information, so that's we're going to cover that one today. But a lot of these short distances, a lot of them coming back similar. It's a little bit competitive. I can see some speed duels. I like a couple of long shots today, so we're gonna see what happens today.
I got some prices too, so
I think
it's either going to be on fire in the good way or on fire in the bad way.
Yeah. Okay, how much more do I have to deposit in my account to make up for my losses, or we're up in funds tonight? So
absolutely. So last night, I don't know if you got a chance to catch this young jockey, Maddie Rowland, on the Horse Center show. If you haven't seen this one, folks, you have to go watch this show because this young lady's still in high school, man. And you want to talk about somebody who's got the right attitude, at least as far as I'm concerned. Maybe you would disagree, but this young lady, she's going to go places, man. Keep an eye on her. I honestly, going into last night, outside of a couple races and a few things getting prepared, I didn't know much about Maddie. This young girl impressed me a lot, and I mean a lot. So if you haven't had a chance to watch Maddie, no. I went from not knowing much about her to the chairman of her fan club, just like that, because her attitude is unbelievable. Unbelievably good.
Where did she say she'll be racing?
She's in Tampa right now, and she's going to head up to when Tampa closes. She's going to want to maybe head up to like the Mid-Atlantic, up in that Delaware, Laurel Park, Pimlico, up in that up around you.
Okay. Well, I'm in New York, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not that far from you. Everything is. When you're on the East Coast, everything is close, but you guys think it's far until you move to the Midwest, and then you realize how far everything, and then you go out west, and then it's even farther apart than you have in the Midwest. So,
yeah.
Well, let's see how far apart our picks are today, Jerry. You ready to go to Evangeline Downs, baby?
Louisiana.
Yes. Have you ever been to? I've never been to.
I've been to New Orleans, but I have never been to Evangeline Downs.
Yeah, I've never been to New Orleans. What did you think of that? I've heard mixed reviews.
Mardi Gras is Mardi Gras madness. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I did it in 2008. It was a lot of fun.
Good time. All right.
Good time. Yeah.
So race number 1, hopefully we can have an equally good time. Throw out some beads and show us your tickets.
Beads.
You thought I was going to go somewhere else with that, didn't you? All right. Race number 1. It is a 5.5 furlong maiden claiming $20,000. They're coming out of the box strong at Evangeline Downs today. So at 5.5 furlongs, obviously these numbers aren't from this year since it's opening day. They're from last year. So they had 76 races, 52 were won by speed, 29 went wire to wire. You did have a rail bias. You did have an 8+ bias as well in here. 2 through 7 played the same. So how do you see this race shaping up, and why do you like the 2? And I don't even have the 2. So I don't know if I should be smiling or sweating.
Well, the 2, very interesting. I'm gonna roll the dice. First time starter, but the works are incredible. This horse is working out conditioning. He's coming in. He's just had a workout on March 26th at Evangeline Downs. 4 furlongs, 47.4 breezing, was number 4 out of 62 works on the day. So I'm kind of taking your old adage that you would going into this week. You got to take a little bit of the prime veteran horses, but also try to take a chance at a price with some of the less experienced horses. So I'm going to take a shot. Morning Line has them at 8-1, and I like that for value. So I'm going to go with the first time starter on top, 2. Followed by number 7, Custom Bluegrass. This is the veteran experienced horse. The last 3 races, this horse has been in the money, finished 2nd, second, 3 consecutive times. Perhaps today's the graduation day, or perhaps the first time starter beats him.
Or
Same thing
likes
can
to
be said
hang,
about the
maybe, right?
six.
Hmm.
Yeah, same thing could be said about this 6 horse entry. Number Sadie. Oh no, not Sadie. Zoe's Hippie.
Hmm.
Also, the last 3 starts, 3 consecutive second place finishes as well. Also has speed, but not as high as speed as the 7 horse does. So I put him in there as for number 3, and the 5. Let's see, with the 5 in the first race. Yeah, 5 in the first race is Sadie's Light. That's
Hmm.
that's the number 5 entry. This horse has showed speed too. A little bit inconsistent. Not sure we're gonna get out of this one, but this one's been in the money 1, 2, 3 times out of 8. So we'll see what happens with that one. I'm not sure.
Knocking on the door, right?
Possibly.
So race number 1 for me, looking at the pace setup, I don't see a whole lot of early pace in here. You do have a couple first-time starters. You mentioned those workouts on the 2. They are very nice. Charles, thanks. I agree with you. It was a very good show last night. I think you'll agree with me. Maddie's really it makes it really easy to root for her. As far as my selections are concerned, in race number 1 tonight at Evangeline Downs, 6, Zoe's Hippie. I'm not really a big fan of that step up from Maiden Claiming, but this horse is knocking on. It's a Bob Dylan horse, as Terry calls it. It's a Denzel Washington horse, as I call it. It's knocking on the barbershop door 7 times at the distance with a 5 seconds and a third. It has a nice Evangeline Downs workout, maintenance work getting ready here. 5, Sadie's Light, dropping in from the maiden special weight, 38,000, the biggest drop in horse racing, as Tom Carley and many others have said. Did run a little bit better in the second half of its last start. And I feel like this horse would be one if some of these pressure horses and first-time starters decide that they're going to shoot for the lead because they see there's not a ton of early pace in here that would benefit from a speed duel. My man Louis, the 4 horse. You like the 4. You were playing the 4s yesterday, and the 4s were popping. So
I
I
told
said, you
you.
know what? What the hell? I'm going to throw the 4s in there today.
Yeah, well, I tell you, man, that 4 is a good number lately. And he won that last race. I had him in there in the last race at Parks yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Well, the 4 horse here, my man Louis, is put a bullet work in at Evangeline Downs on the 22nd. Another one making that Tom Carley drop from $38,000 maiden special weight. And when I see that bullet work at Evangeline Downs, Mike Smith comes to mind because when he was on our show, he told us before, pay attention to how a horse trains at a track. How it trains there, it typically runs there. And then finally, number 7, Custom Bluegrass. Maybe a tough call over your number 2, but does have the top late pace figures in this field. And I don't expect it to be too far off the lead. And it's been pretty close at the distance 5 times out and has a trio of thirds, but nothing else around it. So maybe it is one of those, what do you call it? Gambling fallacy horses of one that is due. Let's see. Charles says, last year I cashed 11 10-cent superfectas over $600 early in the meet at Evangeline Downs. A bomb track must use all third and fourth. Yeah, that's what I was talking about the other night when we had on the track announcer, Rob Toole. And I was saying how I always see a bunch of bombs there. And he agreed with me on that too. So I agree wholeheartedly with you, Charles. That's why this time I was like, all right, well, I'm going to go a little bit crazy with whatever I take. I don't care, right? Because you don't know what's going to come. I mean, I do care, but
I care, but we're not even sure.
So according to Rob, his picks today, and you can if you go over to horseracingtoday.net, you'll see where in the menu it says today's tips or something like that. There's a drop-down menu. Click on Evangeline Downs and you'll see his picks there. But he likes the 5, the 4, and the 6 in race number 1. Do either one of us have do we have 5?
Red pen. What is his red pen? His hot special of the day?
Yeah, that's his special of the day. He told us that's his that's his that's his pick of the day. Oh. So he has the 5, the 4, and the 6. So I agree with him. You're a little bit off on that one. You don't have the
5
4.
So. I have the 4 on top. I have
in race number 2. In race 1. Sorry. So in race number 2, Jared jumping the gun a little bit there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump the gun. I thought we were still talking. I thought you were on the next one.
It is race number 2. You have the 4. I have the 4. And interestingly, it is my long shot of the day. This one's 6 furlongs, claiming 10,000, non-winners of 2 lifetime. This says horses that have not won, 4-year-olds that have and up that have not won 2 races. Self-explanatory. This one goes about as far back as you can in the chute, 1 turn around the track. And I'm coming out of the box here with the number 4 horse because it is the only horse in here that showed some early pace. So you got a lone speed horse that's making its second start off a layoff. And when you look at some of those numbers last time out, look pretty good. Resume says that the horse will improve pretty substantially, potentially, in the second start off a layoff. So Carlos's Punch is going to throw some punches today.
4 for 8 of the money. I mean, it's 4 for 8 of the money. I saw that and down on the sheet. Now, nothing to concern me. I mean, he's been claimed back and forth. I'm not sure what, if just trainers have just failed with him and given up on him. I mean, the talent suggests that it's there. And I love the cutback angle. We're going from 7 furlongs. He's cutting back to 6 furlongs. I love that angle. And the speed, I think he could be sitting out there as a lone speed. And they don't change the jockey. Oh, they did change. Excuse me. They did change the jockey. As a jockey change, he gets,
which can be good sometimes, even if it's.
I mean, that could be fresh. The jockey change could be fresh.
It's got Jose Barnes today. Last time out, he had Del Cid.
Yeah, and he hasn't done well with that jockey. We get like I said, we get the cutback on this horse, and we get good value. We're getting 6 to 1 on the morning line on this horse. We probably get all of that. As I don't think anybody's going to be on this horse.
Well, I think maybe they might be because they're going to look at the pace setup of this race and say, well, Carlos's Punch has got, he's going to get to the front at a distance and surface that favors speed. So I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some play. You like the 3, the 6, and the 2 behind it. Why?
The 3 horse, Speed of the Speed. Funny that I should have that name. It has produced good speed figures. This horse is 1-2 back on the maiden special weight, going to at 20,000. So this is really sort of like a mini drop for this horse, and so I think that the conditions and will be favorable for this entry. And like I said, he had some he set some pretty marginal fractions, 22-1, 22-1, 46, ran a 47 flat. Of course, this was at Delta Downs, their sister track. Also, he had a pretty bad last start, but that was at Fairgrounds. But going back to, if he can duplicate the performance that he had on the 21st of December that he ran at Delta Downs, this one gets into the money and could possibly get either win or, like I have him in place. So I think he gets a piece of the money here. So I like the 3. The number 6, there we go, Sweet Dreams Babe. This one has a bullet workout. 4 of 31 works on March 29th at Evangeline Downs at 4 furlongs. This one ran 49 breezing. 4th work out of 31 starters on that day. So I definitely like to see that in a horse. So I have the 6 for 3rd, and then the number 4th selection, I have the number 2, Runner. Now, I don't know if he'll be much of a runner. I'm not sure what the trainers are doing with this one. He was going on dirt. Now he was on turf. Now he's switching back to dirt. So possibly that might be his strongest angle in so working on the dirt. But he hasn't been consistent to be in the money. I had to go way back. Hasn't been in the money since September of 2021. So I don't know. That's not sure what they're doing with this one. So he's my last selection.
Well, for me, Grand Priority is my second. Is one that's done all right at Evangeline Downs. Ran there 4 times. Came home in the play spot 3 times. At the distance, ran 5 times. Has a couple of second places, a couple of third place finishes. This one is a closer in a field dominated by chasers. And hopefully a lot of these chasers decide to giddy up and go and fight for that lead, because it does look like Carlos Punch could be up there by himself. Hopefully a lot of folks chase him, not let them get away with it. But I do hope he gets away with it, because I want the 4 to win as my long shot. I have the 2 horse Runner. It's a horse that's dropping in class and flipping from turf to dirt. He's run at the Evangeline course a couple of times. He won once, and he got a second there. This one is a presser, and it has the top late pace number. So if that mid-pack punch that's going to be chasing the Carlos Punch, that's just the one that I think will have the legs to carry on at the end. And then finally, Leighton's Hippie was the one that ran the top last race speed figure last time out. Showed far better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers, much better in its last start. and it's done all right at Evangeline as well. Had his one win in 3 seconds in 7 starts at the Louisiana track. Race number 3 is 6.5 furlongs, maiden claiming $7,500. This one you have a Carl Broberg horse. No, not a Carl Broberg. You got the one horse. I was thinking about the next race already.
Souvenir Channel. Now, it's been scratched a couple of times from prior starts. If I go back to his last race, that was a little rank. He was probably just getting on his feet, going again. They finished 5th under the jockey. But prior to that, he ran 2 special maiden weights at the one maiden, 2 special maidens at $10,000 level, and I believe that's where we're at today for this race.
It's maiden 75.
This is a little bit of a drop. This is a small drop. This is 7,500. So this is a bit of a drop, but the conditions suggest that this horse should do well. In those 2 contests, he ran 2nd and 3rd. Of course, one of those was on a muddy track, of course. So I think Evangeline has dried today. But under the fast conditions, he did come in the money in that one. He finished 3rd. He chased fractions. He really labored to chase, but he had a strong finish where he closed pretty well. So we'll see what happens. Perhaps the drop and the going back to dirt and not having a muddy track will be advantageous for him. So I have the 3 on top. The second selection I have is the number 1, La Smoochie. La Smoochie is an interesting horse. This one has set really good fractions in his last race, which he ran at Delta Downs on March 2nd. The maiden is a small drop down. This horse, he finished 6th in that contest, but he may have been overmatched by the company in that race. This is might be. I don't see a lot of overall talent in this race, so he may fit more comfortably within this field and get into the money. So I have him as my 3rd selection. And then on the 4th selection, I have number 2, Say No to the Prayer. This one is, let me see. This one's coming out of Fairgrounds, but he has not raced particularly well. Once again, he's taken a drop. I don't know much about the trainer, but his early fractions suggest he may be able to keep up on the pace. And then he has a little bit of closing ability, but it depends on how far back he is to see if he'll be able to even compete or possibly get a piece of that try. So I have him as the 4th selection in this race.
Charles points out that you should keep an eye out for Aubrey Green and the trainer, Mr. Kevin Williams. Aubrey Green, she's a friend of the show. She has a nice horse racing today, pink shirt. Looks good on her. She's riding on the 9 horse today, Jig Time Bandit today. Horse dropping in class, coming from Fairgrounds. Maiden claiming 10,000. Last time out, it didn't really run so well. Kind of regressed a little bit. So maybe the time off will do that horse pretty well. The workouts were okay. As far as I am concerned in this spot, looking at race number 3, I have La Smoochie on this horse. It is the lone speed according to my my analysis, and it does have the top early pace numbers. I think the 1 horse La Smoochie is going to get to the front. Could be a difficult one to run down. La Jazz, a lot of LA horses down here. Decent work on March 29th, and it's been flirting with improvement at Evangeline Downs. It's run there twice, has a couple of 3rds. Maybe this time it moves up to 2nd. Maybe takes the W.
Work. His works look good. I mean, the work. I missed the 29th workout. I just saw it. The 29th March, 22nd, 4 furlongs, 49-1 breezing, have 7 out of 31. So that's pretty good. So yeah, I can understand that. That looks good. 5 to 1, you're getting value on that if you can hold at that price. So
yeah, maybe we'll see. I mean, down there, I think we'll be surprised at how some of the odds play out when the actual bettors start to put their money down. So I do think you'll see some, especially on opening day, because a lot of people are unsure how the horses are going to run at the track. If they're fit, no form, we have no idea what the barns look like and how where their horses are coming from. So I do expect some shots today. Time to sleep. Jockey Vicente Del Cid stays here instead of riding the 4. So I was kind of going back and forth between, do I want to go with the 4 or do I want to go with the 6 in that 2nd spot? Horse gets a weight break here, and did show more in the second half of its last start. Finally, I'm going to go with Souvenir Channel, dropping from the maiden special weight that Tom Carley dropped to maiden, claiming 10,000. Finished second. It finished second 2 times, third 2 times. The last 4 times it ran at the distance. And that wraps up race number 3. Race number 4, which is going to also wrap up our hot dog pick 4s. It is your box it up, Jared. Why do you tell us a little bit? You know what? I forgot to add these overlays in here. So forgive me, Jared. So hold on a second. Let me bring it up.
All good.
Yeah, we're bringing it up right now. It'll come up in 2 seconds. I don't know how my brain sometimes works like that. But anyway, here's your box it up. And again, this 5-horse custom cat, if you watched the show the other day with Rob Toole, that was his pick of the day.
He gives us this pick of the day. We got to go with Rob. He knows the track a little bit better than we do. So we put him on top. And I can see where Rob's going with him. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 5 in the money in the last 4 outings. And he's got speed. I have him on top, obviously, but then I have an interesting character below him, Thunk. Now this horse has some speed. Concerns me though. This horse has won or had pretty good success on the slop, and I don't think we're going to get that today. But in the fast conditions, he's ran okay. Had a third under the last jockey, so he's switching jockeys again. We'll see how that ends up. But he has not been able to beat Custom Cat, so I have him underneath for second. And then the third selection that I have today is Stand and Cheer, and I'll certainly be standing and cheering if this one can get me to the winner's circle and the morning line of 20-1. I don't think I'm going to get all of that price, and I'm always looking for value. This horse, his past performances this one's going from a $39,000 allowance, non-winners of 3, where it finished 4th, into this $7,500 of $5,000 non-winners of 3 claimer. That's a tremendous drop, and I'm suspicious on that drop. I'm not sure what the trainer is trying to do there, but that stands out to me. So I have the 6 in there at a tremendously high price of 20-1. And my 4th selection is the number 2. The number 2, where is it?
I think Cruiser. The 4 that Stand and Cheer, that's that Kevin Williams Aubrey Green matchup that Charles was telling us about. But that horse has been off for more than a year, like 15 months. So I think that's why you're seeing that big drop in class. So maybe the horse isn't fully recovered yet. Tough to tell.
Don't know, but I was looking for value, so I'll take a shot. Maybe I'll play him in some exotics. And then the 4th selection I have is the number 2, Mean Cruiser. Had an awesome work on March 25th. March 25th, he ran 4 furlongs at 48.4 breezing, and he was 5th out of 39 works on the day. So he may have something in the tank. So we'll see what happens with that horse.
Yeah, we'll see. I had in race 4. I actually have that 4 horse too. It's a 6.5 furlong race. Last year they ran 69 of them. 42 were won by speed. 23 were won wire to wire. You have a post positions 1 through 7 play pretty similarly, but when you look at the 8 and out, you get a pretty good penalty. So you might want to be careful with the 8 horse. And of course, I'm not that careful with the 8 horses. I probably should be. Here we have Rob's picks. We didn't put him in the last couple races. So he likes the 5, 2, and 3 in this spot. In race number 2, the 5, 4, and 2. In race number 3, the 3, 1, and 5. He did tell us on the show the other day that Custom Cat is the top pick for him. One of the top picks. Didn't get his red pen, I guess, today. I'm not sure why. But it did run the top last race, speed figure. And I expect this horse will show better in the second start off the bench. Number 8, Monza. Won his last with some improved late pace and 4 furlong figures. It's run okay at Evangeline Downs. And to me, one of the things I'm going to focus on today is the horses that have fared well at that track, because it is opening day and maybe a new track for some new horses. You never know how they're going to respond. It is the only E-horse in the field here too. So that tells me that it has a shot to get to the front and then hang on. I do like that Stand and Cheer. I'm going to take a shot with you, Jared, because the horse has been off for 16 months, But when you look at that back class is there. And then you tag on top of that, Charles coming and pointing out that trainer combo hits at like 20% with bombs. That's a
21,
number
20
that
to
I'll
1,
take.
Charles. I see it. So I'm going to hope I'm right on that one. I could be wrong, but 20 to 1 stands out. And it could, like you say, it could be because of the layoff, the extended layoff. But hey, even if it was 15 to 1, I'd take it.
Yeah, for sure. And then you got the entry, that Broberg entry there that will get hammered. I'm sure that'll probably be the favorite, the 1 and the 1A. But one of them is going to scratch because Timothy Thornton is on both of them. So you're going to see one of the two scratch. And I'm going to go with the Terry angle on this because Terry always says that when a trainer has two horses in and he scratches one, the one that he leaves in, even if it doesn't look like the better one on paper, many times the trainer knows best, so to speak. So he's going to leave the horse in the race that he feels like has the best chance and probably most fit to win. That brings us to our hot dog pick 4 to get started. Jared, we both spent $18. You're a little top loaded. I kind of turned it on and off a little bit. 3-2-3-2, 3-3-2-2.
You got a little bit more coverage on top because you don't want to get bounced out in the first two leg sequences. So I went a little bit more heavier.
I don't want to get bounced out in any leg. All right. Sounds like you got an important phone call coming in there, huh?
No.
Race number 5. Well, before we go on to race number 5, Jared, tonight we have on a TikTok star, apparently. Have you heard of Electra Boone?
No. Is that a rap singer? Oh, that's a trainer? Okay.
She's what she does is she does like she's an assistant trainer for Carlos David. But apparently she does stuff on TikTok with like all the horses and things. And it's got a ton of followers. So I know Sean is looking forward to the TikTok star coming on tonight because he's going to get some advice for his TikTok dance once we get to 1,000 subscriber or followers on use 2 and 1 will do. Yeah, I agree with that, Charles. And Terry loves that angle too. And I kind of I would say it didn't really pay attention to it before until Terry pointed it out. And then many, many times it does work out like that. So tonight, make sure you check in at 8 p.m. Eastern on Horse Center with Sean and I to talk with Electra to see what kind of advice she has for Sean. I'm looking forward to it because anybody who can get hundreds of thousands of followers on TikTok is somebody who can help us as well. So I'm looking forward to the conversation for selfish reasons as well. So 8 o'clock, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You see the handle below at Horse Race, the number 2 day. And that'll take us off to race number 5, the start of the second pick 5 of the day in the second half of the card. This one is 6 furlongs. Maiden, special weight, $23,000 for maidens that are 3 years old. How are you going to start the second half of the card, Jared?
Gonna go with a first-time starter again. I'm gonna roll the dice again. On this race, I have number 3 on top. Too Much Crown shows really good conditioning. He's had 4 works coming into this one. In the last work was on the 26th of March. Ran 4 furlongs. At 49. Breezing was number 3 out of 62 works on the day, and this one is a 6 furlong affair. So that bodes to me that this horse might have the early speed. But I'm also thinking about what you said a couple of days ago with sometimes you got to use those veteran horses behind ones that may be a little bit green or inexperienced. So I went with number 8 as the number 2 selection. This horse has done nothing wrong in his last 4 starts. He's been 2 out of 4 in the money with 2 seconds and 1/3, and he has really good speed as well. But the only thing I'm concerned about is he ran dirt, then they switched him to turf, then he comes back. So I guess he comes back to his preferred surface. So I have the 8 as the second choice. So probably that's more his preferred speed situation with the dirt. And then I have the number 2 Quarter Rat. This one also showed pretty good fractions. This one ran a nice work and had a nice workout on the 29th of March at Evangeline. 5 furlongs at 101 flat, breezed, and he was 1 out of 6 on that day in workouts. So the work suggests that he could be a potential player. And then I have number 7, Hyperbolist, as my number 4 selection. And this one, I'm not really sure about this one because he is taking a drop, but again, I'm not sure what they're doing because he's been on turf and now he's switching back to dirt, and that may be his preferred surface. But he was really ranking 6th in his last um outing. But these obviously that was at Fairgrounds, so I don't know what he's going to do here at Evangeline.
Just to point out that the voice of Evangeline Downs is joined us today. Thanks, Rob. He says that just an FYI, they can name riders late, not like NYRA, or I call it NYRA, just to make the folks in New York happy, where one will be an auto scratch. So I guess in that leg number race number 4, Timothy Thornton might come off one of them, and another jockey be named for trainer Carl.
Timothy Thornton, you can't dismiss him. I mean, he's one of the top trainers of Delta Downs. I play his
jockey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, he's one of the top jockeys of Delta Downs.
So I'm curious, Rob, since you joined us here today, you gave us you gave us the 5-horse on the show, but then looking at your red pen pick for today is the let me bring
number
it back
1.
up again.
He says number 1.
Red pen is race number 5, number 1, Whiskey Gent. So kind of fill us in a little bit about your thoughts behind Whiskey Gent there, if you'd be so kind, Rob, in the comments. We'd love to pass them along to people. Thank you for, again, joining in. So for me, in race number 5, do I even have the one? I feel bad now that I don't have the one. Do I have the one? Race number 5, I do not. Neither one of us have the one.
I do not have the one.
So we just like yesterday when neither one of us had the one, guess which one's going to come and beat us, right?
I guess we got to use the one now. We can't get.
Yes, I might have to change that on the back end of my picks. But all right, here's my reasoning for the picks I made in race number 5. First of all, at 6 furlongs, again, speed has won there. You get a pretty good 1 through 7 if played fair, and you get a penalty from 8. Of course, like always, I try to beat it. I try to go against the trends like an idiot, but
that's why I'm going with first-time starters.
Yeah, there are no trends for that one. So 8.
That's right. Take a spin.
EDK. Last time out, I really like to see when a horse runs the top last race speed figure, and then when you look at the 2 and 4 and late pace numbers, they all got better. And when I did my analysis, this horse does have the top early pace and late pace combination in the field with the top late pace numbers. A number 4, Tap It to the Line. This one, to me, the 4 and the 7 are basically the same horse in terms of why I like them, and that's why they're group 2nd and 3rd. They're both dropping from Fairgrounds, made in special weight, 65,000. They both ran better fractions in their last race, but the number 4 horse, I gave it a little bit of an edge because it has a good workout since its last race. And then I went with number 3, and I have Whiskey Gent as my 4th pick. Yeah, my 5th pick in here. So maybe I'll sneak it into the 4th spot here.
The 1 is his. I'm gonna slide the 1 into a trifecta and a definitely super bet. I'm gonna definitely do that.
So to me, I went with the 3 horse, same logic that you had. First time starter with good works. And when you kind of go through the past performances of the other horses in here, there's really not a lot to beat in this race at all. So that's why I went with the 8, 4, 7, and 3. We probably should put the 1 in because we might look foolish if we don't put the 1 in.
We're putting the 1 in today. Yeah.
So I think you will see the front from the rail shortening up, holding. He has plenty left in the tank. Fairgrounds, $30,000 claimer last time out. Same level as Evangeline Downs, made a special weight. So yeah, some inside information, folks. That's why you want to come to horse racing today, because
thank you.
You're not getting that anywhere else, folks. I can assure you that. Thank you, Rob. Big thumbs up, my friend. Now it's going to come in, and you and I might look foolish, and Rob looks smart for putting the 1 in, and we don't have the 1. Mm-hmm. But you know what else looks good in the 1 is our friend Cece Perkinson. She's got on the Nice Horse Racing Today gear, the red shirt over at Turf Paradise. Unfortunately, her horse didn't come in. But if you want to look as good in the number 1 as Cece does, head on over to horseracingtoday.net. Click on the HRT gear and get yourself a nice red shirt and then send it to us. I probably wouldn't do red because that's a tough matchup. I'd probably go with a different one, right? Now, go fast and win. Absolutely. That's what we want to do. Go fast and win. Straight to the finish line, my friend. It's the fastest way to 2 points from the gate to the wire. All right, your long shot here is in race number 6, Jared.
Yeah, my long shot number selection today is number 6 in the 6th race. A, that's my birthday. B, I always like playing the sixes. 5-1 on the morning line. This one's a pretty interesting horse. This one has a drop. This one's taking like it looks like a drop. No, he's ran in similar, but he's ran in similar. The times aren't that bad from what I can see. So he might be a player here. The works were pretty decent. It looks like he's got pretty good speed. We'll see. This is I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to take a stab with the 6 on top, and then my second
And that
selection,
6, just to kind of
mix it up.
it's 5-1, so
Yeah, I mean it's to
good
5-1.
value.
I mean,
And that is a jockey that Rob did point out to us on the show, Vicente Del Cid. So I think you might be on the right spot as far as the rider is concerned.
okay, I don't know honestly, Rob. I don't know anything about the jockey, but if that's what you say, I'll definitely believe you.
It's just another check mark in your plus column, in the
Yeah,
Ben Franklin close, if you're familiar with
yeah.
that.
Well, that's exactly what's going on as a Franklin today, so I could tell you that for fact because I already booked that bet in. So number 2, the number 2 selection that I have today is She's My Priority because she's run some pretty decent races in the last couple. Same company. She hasn't yet hit the board in the money though. She's been close on the cusp, a third, a sixth, a fifth. So she's trending upward, but she's also taking a class drop. And of course, this is Carl Broberg's entry today, so I definitely will be using that. He had a lot of success with Carl Broberg at Sam Houston, so I put in Carl Broberg's entry for number 2, and then my third selection on the day, Safekeeping, the number 3 horse. Safekeeping has been pretty good over the last couple of races. Not great. He does have $20,000 in earnings. Um, 1 win, 2 places, 2 shows. So he's been in the money in 5 of or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of his last 9 races. So he has some capability. I don't know anything about the jockey, to be honest with you, but he could be there for a piece of the action. So I have him as my third selection. And my fourth selection, I have the 1. He did have a 4-5 furlong race in his last. And no, sorry, he raced at 5 furlongs in his last, and he finished third in a maiden special weight that was at 1 minute flat on time. So
Not a bad number there at all.
Yeah, so that one's interesting to me. So I used him as well.
I think this is the only one today at a mile, and they ran 166 of them at the last meet. 96 of the 166 were won by speed, and 53, so one more card than a full deck, ran wire to wire. There is an inside 3 bias with posts 2 and 3 outperforming the 1 by just a little bit. 4 through 7 are okay, but man, if you wear a pink 8 or a higher, there is a substantial drop, and that's in 166 races. So that's a number that is accurate. I'm going to start off with this race in terms of the way the race shape sets up. It does look to me like in race number 6, you got a bunch of pressers, a bunch of closers, and just two that want to get to the front. Number 2, She's My Priority, is a second off the claim for Carl Broberg. It's one of the pressers in here. But when you match him up with Timothy Thornton, so I found this to be somewhat shocking in the last 60 days. Mm-hmm. Broberg and Thornton number, and there are 2 people that Rob pointed out as far as most likely to win the jockey title, most likely to win the trainer title at the current meet at Evangeline Downs. Check it out. When these 2 have won, they win at 40% together in the last 60 days. So a combination like that, would you expect it to have a positive ROI?
No.
No, you'd think it would be deeply underwater. They're actually at plus 14 cents, which I found almost
on the dollar.
Yeah. So if you bet $1, you get $1.14 back. And out of that combination, that shocks me because I would figure that would be a losing combination. I mean, would win. So you got to be careful, when you pick the combination. But overall, if you just bet them every single race, you put $1 on it right now, you'd be sitting on a 14-cent profit, which is not
probably
bad.
Going off because the odds are probably like 4 to 5, 2 to 1 even money. So they are maybe that's why they're showing some slight return on investment.
So Kreider's Chase is one of the 2 E horses in here. So one of the 2, as I mentioned, I don't really see a whole lot of early pace. The other one is the 10 horse Abigail G. I really wanted to rank the 10 higher, But man, when you go to that outside post winning at
I don't
such a
know.
low rate, you had to come off of that. So I think the one horse Kreider Chase is going to have the inside edge. It's going to get out of the gates pretty sharply. Does have the best early pace numbers in the field,
I
and he's
hope you're
not done
right.
so badly at Evangeline Downs. He's ran there 3 times, got a couple of seconds, a couple thirds. But as you mentioned, at these shorter distances, this is a horse that's been damn close. 11 times out at these 5.5 furlong numbers, and has finished second 5 times and third 3 times. So it has been
I'm not
really
gonna knock
close.
you at 20-1. If he even gets that 20-1, probably won't get 20-1 because people may see what you're saying. But
Hmm.
20-1, why is he getting 20-1 though? You got to ask yourself that question. If the stats are
I
that
don't
good.
know. Well, it's Monday night, man. It was Wednesday night, so that remember right off the top, we were told bet bombs early on.
Bet
Charles
bombs early
said,
on, yeah. I guess I'm
yes.
gonna bet the bomb.
So Charles said that he collected what was 11
600.
dime.
He said
Yeah, but
$600 on 10-cent supers or something.
yeah. So let's hope we hit in 8 races. I'll take one of those today and walk away with a
Take
big
one of
grin.
those and be happy.
Yes. Number 8 slide is the first off the claim for trainer Noel Dane. It's an 18% winner for the trainer. And you're looking for any reason to back a horse here. And sometimes some fresh training tactics is enough to get the job done. 18% is what I call an alpha angle. Anything over 12%, in my opinion, is an alpha angle. And last time out, the horse did show a little bit better early fractions. Race number 7 is my best bet of the day. And this horse reminds me a lot. This is a 6.5 furlong optional claiming $10,000 race. This one reminds me a lot of the horses we were on the last couple days, the one horses that won both races, Bar Tap. It just seems to me like this horse is the quality of this field. And it's making its second start off a layoff. Last time out, ran better fractions, which I like to see. Last time out, improved across the board in the early part of the race. So I think in the second start off the race, Bar Tap is going to be the one that comes home first in race number 7. And what gives me either encouragement or fear is the fact that you don't have him at all.
I didn't see that one. I have the number 2. Cave Creek is my top selection for race number 7. This horse has showed exemplary speed in his last couple of outings coming in from fairgrounds. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 5 out of 8 in the money in his last 8 outings. The fractions look good. The speed is there. Question is, can he hold that speed throughout the race? He's coming from 6 furlong. This is a 6 furlong affair, and this one has been racing at 6 furlongs, so it's really only a little bit of a stretch out, not really that much. If he can go out to the lead early, he could take this field gate to wire, and he did win his last race at odds of 22-1. So
Nice.
I did like this 2 horse on top. The second selection that I have is number 3, Melody Rose. Melody Rose had a rough start in her last outing. She did set pretty good fractions. It is a small minor drop. She did finish second in that contest. And she also was able to get into the money at very large odds of 24-1. So I did like the number 3 selection today, taking a shot there. And then the third selection that I have, got to go with the old baseball adage because baseball season is starting, and we start off the weekend series, the Yankees and the Red Sox, and also I decided to go with Green Monster, the number 6 selection in race number 6.
7.
Green selection, Green Monster, in honor of the Fenway Park Green Monster.
Hey, the guy who won the national championship, David Harrison, was on our show, and he says he allows himself one hunch play every contest or every day. And he mentioned that his wife, whenever they would have, I guess, a discussion, that maybe an argument or something, or they were talking about a topic, she would always tell him, let me finish, because he would interrupt. And one of the horses that he won on was named Let Me Finish. And he said he just saw the name, nothing else, bet it. And it got him $750,000.
I mean, honestly,
that's crazy.
That's honestly, that's really my my gut. Yeah. Green
So
Monster.
you're allowing yourself your one.
Yeah, that's my hunch.
Pick.
Green Monster. It's opening weekend. It's Yankees Red Sox this weekend. Green Monster. So
and not only did that, he won the thing on. There was one that was David Don't Swear David was the name of the horse. And he had said that someone asked him, "What are you going to do if you win?" And he said, "I'm probably going to get up and just let out a lot of, 4-letter words." And then he said when he opened up the program on that last race and he saw it said, "Don't swear, David," he's like, "That's an omen." So he bet that horse. So he
Wait,
bet
so it gets
one because
funnier.
of his wife and one because he has a sailor's mouth. Won him $750,000. I mean, there's a lot of other picks before that, but that's incredible.
I mean, it gets funnier because at preceding that, I look at the form. I see Green Monster, and then I go up and down the form, and I see another one, and I say, well, you know what? If I'm wrong on Monster, the horse's name isn't SOL. You know what SOL stands for? I won't
Yeah.
say it on
Yeah.
here.
Well, I'll tell you what SOL stands for. I've told this story before. My mom, when she was pregnant with my brother, which is the youngest in our family, she wanted a girl. And all kinds of girl names picked out. And then so they would ask her, "What were you going to name your son? And if it's a boy?" Well, she said, "I haven't picked out any names. He's just going to be SOL. He's going to be bleep out of luck." And
Yeah.
that's how he got his name, SOL.
So the horse's name isn't out of luck, but it's called Oops My Bad. So if I'm wrong on the 6, oops my bad. So I went with the 4 in there as the 4th selection.
Hey, there you go. That's as good a reason as any. Sometimes I feel like there are days where I feel like I probably been better off just hitting the random number generator.
It's probably stupid, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta say, "What the hell?"
Well, I don't think you're stupid on Oops My Bad. This was a horse that can pilot or co-pilot in a race where there really isn't a true front runner. So I think he has an opportunity to get to the front. It was run damn well at Evangeline Downs. Been on that track 6 times, has 4 wins and a second. And this horse, this is another angle that I like too. A horse that has speed, or some early pace, but gets a weight break. So gets a weight break, third start off the bench, some early pace, been successful at the track. So I don't think you're going to be looking at that pick and saying, "Oops, my bad" afterwards. I have the 1 and the 1A as my next picks that as both can run up front or come from off the pace. Both have done well at Evangeline Downs. So I think you're going to see something good going on there. And then for 6, Green Monster is the first off the claim for trainer Riley Grudzen, who we had on the show. Another show very much worth watching. I don't know what's going on in horse racing, but whatever it is, there are a lot of young ladies, young women coming into the sport, and man, they are having success right off the jump.
Well,
Hardworking, shoulder to the wheel types that, man, they're easy to root for. Riley's definitely one of them.
they're following the Kathy Ritvo path. She had a lot of success.
Mm.
There's a lot of female. There's a female. Jacqueline Davis is another one at Aqueduct. We may see her on some mounts tomorrow, and then they could, because Aqueduct is running tomorrow, but the conditions are bad here in New York this week with rain, so I don't really know how the track is going to play out. But she's another up and coming female jockey that's been having quite a good meet at Aqueduct. So.
Well, Terry's been having quite a good meet with his best bets. I know he tells me that in the month of March, he was having a very 40% winners and a pretty strong ROI. So he's going to be down at Tampa Bay Downs. He's out on the beach out in California, not at the beach in Tampa, but on vacation, enjoying his vacation. He has in race number 5 at Tampa, his best bet today over at horseracingtoday.net. Number 1, Roaring River. Number 2, Indian Buzz, and number 4, Indian Buzz, and number 2, Mystic Link in race number 5 at Tampa Bay Downs is Terry's best bet of the day. And I'm going to
have winning at 21% at Tampa. I did not know that.
Yeah, what's that?
I did not know that.
At least on that at that distance, I'm sure. Yeah. So race number 8, this one's going to close the show. Maiden claiming $7,500, 6 furlongs, as we've talked about before. 6 furlongs, you got to be fast. And this one is my box it up, Jared, because I have a couple of the bombs in here. So let's pull up my box it up. I'm going to start off with number 5, Grand Isle Summer. I don't think this one's going to be a bomb, but this one was bet to $180. There is some value in this horse, though. The number 5 horse, let me look at the morning line real quick. It only ran once so far, and that debut is bet down to $180. Right now, morning line's 9-2, so you got a little bit of value in that. They must have thought there was some horse there to come out and be $180 on the debut. It pressed early on, so it can be a horse that's probably going to get to the front at a distance and a surface that supports front runners. And the trainer, Alan Clanter, I can't read that too well, but he's had 20 horses go out as the favorite in the last year. And in those 27 came back out. Of those 20 that lost, that went out as the favorite, 7 of them, so 35%, came back to win. 75% of them finished in the money, and he did return a positive ROI. So 9-2 is a pretty good price to have up on top, right? Money race 8, bombs away. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that one. Number 7, Citizens Reward, is my second pick. That one is the favorite. Looking at Citizens Reward on this spot, missed as a 2-5 favorite in its last. This is another one, Patrick Devereaux, who rebounds at 36%. Then I'm coming in with the number 1 horse, Koopy Cutie, if that's right. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, Koopy Cutie. Yeah, I think I have her too.
7-2. Maybe there weren't some bombs here. I thought I had some 20-1 shots in here, but maybe I confused it with another race. But the one horse in here is the one that does have lone speed type. Yes. And it does have some of the best early pace numbers in the field. And then I'm going to close it out with number 8, Allen's Joy. I think that's what it's. Allen's Judy. It's a first-time starter. Really doesn't have much to beat in here. If you look back at a couple workouts were pretty good. So it's just a straight up. Everything else in here has been pretty bad. So perhaps number 8 horse can get in. If not, right behind the 8 horse, I had rated the number 4 horse, Harriet Trigger Heart. That's my box it up on I should have probably went bombs away here. Just took all the longest ones, like the 4 longest shots in the field. How are you going to stack up the last race to bring home the prime rate pick 4?
I actually have the 8 on top. I have the 7 on top. There was a correction on that I sent you.
Yep, 718. There you go.
Yeah, 7. I have Citizens Reward on top. This horse has showed really exemplary speed, and the works are very promising. March 26th at Evangeline, this horse went 4 furlongs at 49.1 breezing. This was the 4th work best out of 62 on the day. 7 is my top selection. I believe the speed can hold on this, and this horse, if it goes out front early, it could take gate to wire. So 7 is my number 1 selection. Then I have the 1 horse, my second selection. You can't really say anything bad about this horse. This horse has finished 4 out of 8 in the money, and in its last 8 affairs, has good speed. Could contend, and it could be a speed duel up front between the 7 and the 1, which could potentially set it up for my third selection. I have the number 8. It's finished in 4 of 6 in the money at this level, and the 8 does show some decent speed. Allen's Judy, though it was a little bit tick slower than the top 2 selections. It did run 4 furlongs on 52.1. This was 27th work out of 31, so he's a tick slower, but he does add Lasix today, and he is a first-time starter, so maybe the Lasix gets him more concentrated on the job at hand, and the odds are 12-1. So there's your bomb, Charles, in there, the number 8 selection on race 8, and then my last selection was the number 9 horse, Mount Hoppy. Has ran at 4 furlongs at Delta Downs in his last affair on the 23rd of February, and showed a blistering 47.2 speed. So that is impressive to me. And I thought, well, if you could throw that kind of speed at 5 furlongs, and I think this is 6 furlongs, maybe the stretch out, and he just could take it and get a piece of the action there. So there's another long shot in there, another bomb. As you said, it's 6-1.
There you go. And then we have our prime rib pick 4s. Jared went 3. He went 4, 4, 4, 3 in the end. He's going to go on that maiden claiming. I couldn't go home on the maiden claiming 7,500 with only 3. I really was thinking about stretching out a little bit more on race 5, 6, and 8, and really maybe just singling up that 5 in race number 7, or maybe just going the 5 and the 4. But I cheated a little bit by taking the entry, because then I'm getting 2 horses instead of just 1. So really I really went 4, 4, 4, and 4 to get that final prime rib pick 4. That's how I stacked it up there. Thank you, Charles. Good luck today. Sloppy at Parks, Philly pick 5, over 180,000 pool, must play day today. So I'm wholeheartedly in agreement with you.
I'm not concentrating on Parks today. I'm going to try to get this money at Evangeline as a first-time player.
Hey, you know what? a lot of times you have that beginner's luck when you head off to a new track, right?
I don't know anything, but the way Rob was so enthusiastic about the track, it makes me excited. I want to get into some of these bombs today, make me make some money because I got a long day at Gulfstream. I think Gulfstream is running tomorrow,
And we're doing Aqueduct tomorrow,
I'm
so
doing
that'll be fun.
Aqueduct tomorrow, but the weather is supposed to be very crappy tomorrow.
So
So
do you want to switch it up to Gulfstream?
we may have to switch up to Gulfstream tomorrow because.
Well, let me know sooner than later so I can get that information.
I don't have a problem with Aqueduct. I just don't know what we're going to get because that slop track, it's not. It never seals well, so it's complete mud.
Well, I think for us and for the folks who pay, who follow along, it's best that we have a fast track that way. Because a lot of times in those muddy tracks,
off track, you
just don't know what you're going to get. I mean, if you want bombs, you're going to get that.
You're going to get bombs at Aqueduct tomorrow with an off track. I can tell you that. That's fact. But
if
I just don't like Aqueduct when it's not clean. It's not a clean track. I don't like to play it.
If you want Rob Tools picks, make sure you head on over to, again, you can get them at Evangeline down. So evdracing.com. You'll find Rob's picks there.
Is that a pick? Is that a pick 4? That's a pick.
He's got a pick 5 in races 4 through 8. He's going to single up the 5 horse there in race number 1, 2, 3, 4 in the race number 4. And I think that's the Cat and Kitten, right? In race number 4, the one he talked about on our show.
Custom Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go with Custom Cat on his.
So he's going to single that one up, and then he's going 3 by 3 by 2. No, by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. No, that is 3 and 5. I sometimes when I see that 3-5, I think that's 3 through 5, but it's 3 and 5.
Well, Rob's got the 3 and the 1 in the third race, just like me. So maybe I'm on target.
Hey, maybe you're flying directly over the target. So you can get Rob's picks again. You can find them at evdracing.com, or if you go to horseracingtoday.net, you'll see in the drop-down menu there is, see right here, Horse Racing Today, Horse Racing Picks. You'll see you click on Evangeline Downs. There you will find tool time selections for Evangeline's. Click on that, and bam, you're right back to where we were.
I'm hoping right, Rob. I'm hoping right about that 9 because I see you got them in there too. You got the same 4 we do, for the same 4 I do. So,
well, let's hope we're all right. They all end up in the winner's circle. So we're not 100% sure if we're going to do Gulfstream or Aqueduct tomorrow. Again, tonight,
make the decision.
Again, tonight at 8:00. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I was going to say tonight at 8:00. Make sure you join us for Tic Tac Star, Electra Boone. That's going to be a lot of fun. 8:00 with Sean and myself. So that should be a good show as well. And like I said, if you haven't seen the Maddie Rowland show last night, you got to go watch that one because you will absolutely be a fan of that young lady afterwards, unquestionably. Even Charles came out and said, great show last night, and it really was phenomenal. Tomorrow night, we'll be discussing at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, the Santa Anita Derby and some races around that. Terry's still on vacation, so it's just going to be Tom, myself, and then Sean, and maybe a special guest that we're working on. We'll see if we can pull that off. And then Friday, Tom and I are going to be back. Looks like we're going to be doing some Australian racing at Randwick. That should be fun for 4 and Fridays. And I think I'm going to take Saturday off. I haven't had a day off, God knows how long. So we'll see.
I work Saturdays all the time myself, and it's not for racing, unfortunately. But I love the stakes days. I wish I just had more time to play them, but I don't. I think those are the biggest. I don't know why some people are so afraid to play stakes races days. Those are great money-making opportunity days.
Yeah, you have to play the stakes races.
Skittish, I'd rather play a maiden claimer, or I'd just rather play a special weight today. It's not my cup of tea. No, you got to play stakes races days because that's where you get the big pools.
And we were talking about that yesterday. It's the most overlooked thing, I think, in all of horse racing is the money pools.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if I had one time, I think at Beulah Park, I had like a 20-1 over 20-1 over like a 15-1 coming into the final leg of the pick 4. And even if I had potted it, the pool was only like $1,000. So
if that 3 had come yesterday instead of my 4, that would have paid like $3,000. That pick 4 would have paid. Well, it would have paid about $1,000, but I wanted that 3 and it just died at the end, but I still got my 4 up. So, but I mean, like I said, we had everything going on at Parks yesterday, except that one. So much for a rail bias, Rich, because the last 3 out of 4 were 1.
Well, it was the 6 furlong, so you have to be afraid of the one horse. That's it. Every other track, every other distance and surface at Parks, the one horse does fine, but some one reason that 6 furlongs, only 2 out of 93 winners. So that's too big of a data set for me to ignore. That there's something weird going on at 6 furlongs for that rail horse, whatever it is. Well, hopefully there's nothing weird going on tonight when they're running at Evangeline Downs. And while they're running at Evangeline Downs, if you want to as well, if you're going to play Charlestown, I know a lot of people will be playing Charlestown.
I play Charlestown.
In some of those contests. Charlestown is one of the tracks they use pretty regularly. It is our free track of the day over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. So if you just click on Charlestown at guaranteedtipsheet.com, you will see the one horse Remy's Gunsmoke is the top pick of race number 1. And
Remy's
yesterday
Okay.
at Turf Paradise, which was our free track, we had potentially $3,250 in winners using the top 4 picks across the board, including a $499 superfecta in race number 7 with our top 4 picks at Guaranteed Tip Sheet yesterday. So hopefully we can follow that up with some solid performance tonight at Charlestown.
Charlestown, number 1. Okay. Number 1 in the first hole.
Yes. Numerology, just the way you do it, my friend. All right. Any final thoughts, Jared, before we get up and out of here on this hump day?
No, just everybody have a good day, and I hope everybody makes some money and has a great day and enjoys it. And if you don't, well, there's always another day.
One thing, another day, another race. That's
another day, another dollar.
You can even run and then afterwards go to Australia if you don't do well in the U.S. All right. We hope everybody has a fantastic hump day. I'm looking forward tonight, Wednesday night, Sean's least favorite day because it's the last day of Horse Center, but it's going to be a fantastic show with Electric Boone. Make sure you check into that 8 p.m. Eastern right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. Until then, we hope your day, your picks, and everything that you do, Jared, ends up in J. Marco's
winner's circle.
Absolutely. Have a fantastic
Have a good one, guys.
everybody.